I know. You have to invite people.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Ashes Rubies conversational podcast on life and recovery and so much more.
A little bit more sometimes. I am feeling the pain. Do you know what pain that is?
Because you've been working out?
No, yes, but not that. I'm not. I am not a what's that called? Extreme, not extreme, but I'm a very moderate worker outer. Um, but I did play squash yesterday, and I'm more on that extreme side where I'm competitive, and I've lost a fair bit amount of weight. Which my squash partner is a squash player. Do you know the difference?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not a squash player. He is a squash player.
You enjoy squash. You do enjoy squash.
I enjoy sport.
And I remember
if I'm not gonna puke.
You had a person who was willing to play with you, and you were playing on a regular basis, and you were beating them consistently. And I said,
let him win.
You got to let him win now and then. He's not going to want to play with you anymore. And you told him that I said that. And he said,
never let me win. If I want to beat you, like I will quit if you try to let me win. And I think that's...
And I was like...
That could be a difference between the male and female genders.
I'm not going to make it a gender thing. Because I actually... No, you did. I'm not going to do that.
You don't know.
I'm going to correct you.
I don't...
I know several women who would have the same response. Competitive people do not want you
to so it's
let
more
them
of a
win.
characteristic.
Yes.
I get it.
People who are competitive do not want you to let them win.
I'm sorry, everywhere.
People who are agreeable, there's agreeable people, they just want to have fun and they just want to play.
I think agreeable people can't hit a squash ball properly, so
That's
they
true.
just want to have an even playing field.
They also don't want to play Monopoly.
They might not want to play Monopoly with competitive people either. Okay, so you're looking at the characteristics. But I am very sore. I missed a couple of weeks of squash, and I just... Part of my physical protocol coming into 50 years old, I feel like...
How many years old?
50. 50 is April the 14th, exactly 1 month away.
You know, it's funny because there's some people that you'll find out later that they just had a birthday and just turned 50, and maybe somebody else will tell you.
I'm not bragging.
Not this guy. No, not this guy. He needs you to know that his birthday's coming up and he's turning 50.
No, not all about my birthday. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that person.
However, if we decided to throw you a party, you would not be against it.
No, you canceled my party.
I did cancel your party.
Yeah, because there's some better event on the 14th.
Yeah, there is.
What I was going to say is that I want to come into this second half of my life in a physical condition that is conducive to longevity. And so I'm down 26 pounds. I'm playing a little bit of sports, and I'm doing a little bit of working out.
I, for one, am very grateful that you're taking that approach. Do you know why?
So you don't have to.
You don't like taking care of sick people. I love you.
I'm on a food protocol. I will not talk about it on air. Everybody has an opinion about food, which is interesting. So I try not to talk about it.
No, but can I ask you, do you like taking care of sick people?
I don't mind. Like, if it's self-induced.
You're really good at it.
No, I'm okay. It's a focus. So it's like I'm good at like that task, the tangible of like, you have needs, I will meet those needs. I will sit here. I don't get to do anything else. And I enjoy caretaking.
You do.
And supplying the needs that somebody else can't.
You do.
In a way.
You're very good that way.
I prefer not to get stuck there, and I prefer not to do it for no reason.
I, on the other hand, have been known to take our son out for dinner to a really nice restaurant while you were dying.
And you don't even bring leftovers. But
all right, let's go.
That is another story.
That's not the entirety of who I am, just to be clear.
Continue.
Is it my turn to read? Yeah. Oh, look.
March the 14th.
Thought for the day. Can I get well?
Can you get well?
If I mean, can I ever drink normally again? The answer is no. But if I mean, can I stay sober? The answer is definitely yes.
And fill in the blank, whatever that means to you.
Not just about drinking. I can get well by turning my drink problem over to a power greater than myself. that divine principle in the universe, which we call God. And by asking that power each morning to give me the strength to stay sober for the next 24 hours, I know from the experience of thousands of people that if I honestly want to get well, I can get well. Am I faithfully following the AA program? I have a question for you. Can I ask a question right now and then read the rest?
Yeah.
Do you wake up in the morning and ask God, please keep me sober today?
Never.
Okay, just checking. We'll come back to that.
We'll come back.
Meditation for the day. Persevere in all that God's guidance moves you to do. The persistent carrying out of what seems right and good will bring you back to that place, will bring you to that place where you would be. If you look back over God's guidance, you will see that God's leading has been very gradual, and that only as you have carried out his wishes as far as you can understand them, has God been able to give you more clear and definite leading. We are led by God's touch on a quickened, responsive mind. God's touch on our mind leads us. All right, do you want to talk about the 24 hours, or what do you want to talk about?
I think the 24 hours is great. And
did you start there?
From my experience, it was all about getting sober.
Okay.
And then the process of getting sober is actually turning your whole life over to God. So I don't resurrect my new life. Like, I don't resurrect my old life. I get a whole new life. And I think very few people abandon their lives to God. Like, if you left everything in Canada and went to Africa and tried to build what you had here, I don't think it would work out well. Like, it's a very different culture. It's a very different, you're there for a very different reason, whatever that is. Like, whatever that is.
Right.
You're not trying to rebuild what you had here. Like, maybe you're a business owner.
So our life is a train wreck. Things aren't working well. We can pretty much blame substances at that point. Or maybe I can blame, for my case, I might blame a relationship that I have that's very destructive, or I might blame like a toxic work environment. There's different things that I can blame. But then I come to this place where I realize, oh, actually, I think the problem is inside of me, and something inside of me needs to be changed.
So the problem inside of me causes me to go to the dysfunctional relationships, to the food, to the pornography, to the alcohol, to the drugs, all of that stuff. Okay. And then what I found was the process of recovery is actually recovering the relationship of the Garden of Eden in my heart, which solves all of my problems. And sobriety is a result of my relationship with God. And I wouldn't say every day I ask God to keep me help me stay sober. I thank God for my new life, and I thank God for being sober another day. Like, I think sometimes I can forget that, but the result of a relationship with God has provided, like, one of the biggest things is my head stopping. And we were talking to a guy last night, and some of us can relate to having ADD issues. And he was relating, like, the first time he took medicine for the ADD, he got to pick his thoughts. And some of us, especially in addiction, you don't have to have ADD to have 1 million thoughts coming all the time. And it causes irritability, restlessness. We never finish the conversations in our head. So it's like all these unfinished thoughts and sentences. And isn't that like our lives? And that's why we need the comfort. And so God offers to be the ultimate comforter.
So the meditation today is the way that you carry that out in your life is in the morning, you thank God and you ask God for direction for today. And that's exactly what this is. This is saying, like, to look back over God's guidance and to see where God has been leading us. And I remember actually in our early sober life, I remember actually being able to see where God helped me before I could help myself.
Yeah.
And then now the choice that I can make or what I get to experience is that I invite God into every day. God is my employer. I work for God, and I'm like, all right, what's next? What's today? And I actually think that this has come true, where it says God, that God's leading has been very gradual, and that only as you have carried out his wishes as far as you can understand them, has God been able to give you more clear and definite leading.
And I can't be one of those people that has this airy-fairy relationship with God. Like, it has to be tangible for me. So in the big book, it talks about the employer, the father, the director, the principal. And I can imagine, I'm seeing it right now. Imagine a warehouse and I'm the worker in it. And like, I get a shipment in and it, like, I don't know where things are going. I need direction.
Mm.
And so for me, having a relationship with God now is that every morning I sit down for direction and inspiration. And like, I actually write
Do you
it
think
down.
you still carry that maybe sense that a relationship with God for you is life and death?
Yes. And I think what I can do, if I'm not writing these directions down on a daily basis and then reviewing them in the evening to see if I completed all the relational part of my life, then I can easily go off course.
Mm.
And so it's almost like I have a job to do, but then I'm like taking breaks for like, imagine your employee taking a 2-hour lunch or a 5-hour lunch or a 4-day lunch. And it's like, that's what I used to do as a crackhead. Literally, like, I wouldn't come to work for 3 days and be like, hey guys, how you doing? Man, I was sick. I had the diarrhea. I would try to get you the phone.
I'm
And we
sorry.
make up all these excuses. And it's like, I want to be a good employee, so I need directions. I need to sit there and go, what are we doing today? So I actually have a discipline of writing it down and taking some time in the morning like I would to get dressed. I get dressed, but I also have to get dressed for the spiritual life. And
Well,
so
I know
that's perseverance.
we want to wrap up, but I actually wanted to say that feeling that it's life and death. I think I can kind of I can relate to that, even though and I actually feel a lot of gratitude out of that we.
What's your tea? What is this?
I feel a lot of gratitude out of the life that we have and where we came out from before, and the fact that that feeling stays close to us, of that this life, we don't get to coast through this life, that it's really important and really serious that we maintain fit spiritual condition and stay close to God, because I don't want to go back there. Something
back to Egypt. Woo! All right, what's our prayer for today?
I pray that I may persevere in doing what seems right. I pray that I may carry out I pray that I may carry out all of God's leading as far as I can understand it.
Amen.
We pray that for you today.
That's our prayer for today. Thank you for joining us. We will see you tomorrow. Mañana. Keep the peace. Be of good behavior.
Did Judge say that to you once?
Yes.